Welcome to another stock analysis video performed by MajesticTrader.com, where active traders seek greater profits. So let's begin. Hi everybody, welcome to another weekly chart analysis and market leader video analysis by MajesticTrader.com. This is Ron Lang. First thing we're going to do is look at the S&P 500. And we set up this target last week, although we've been talking about this range for several weeks now, which we hit today on Friday with a terrific unemployment number, despite the fact that the internals still are a little shaky. The 8.3% I think took a lot of people by surprise, in addition to the private jobs increase, the private sector jobs increase. Now, the other thing that we also saw over here that we had pullback was the Case-Shiller index, which showed that home prices dropped again. So we believe at this point that we believe the market is topped out. We might have another slight up day on Monday, but we truly believe that we're going to pull back to the 1227 to the 1305 to 1310 area by the end of next week. So we're expecting that type of a pullback. If it does go higher, it's not going to go much higher than 1358, but there's not too much of a catalyst next week to push this higher, other than some possible good news out of Europe regarding the Greek situation, but we believe that some of that has already been baked into the market. So that's our weekly analysis. Let's move on to our market leaders. First, we're going to start off with ExxonMobil. If you notice that last week we broke this down into different time frames as far as the pullback. Well, this has now reached our average pullback, and we had a nice update today. So we believe we're going to break through this again and come up to the $90 level and possibly surpass Apple as the market cap leader. Not that that means a lot to people. You can see that ExxonMobil's at $400 billion and Apple's at $424. So I don't think neither one of those companies really care. I think it's just something for the media to talk about. Apple, we expected a 50% gap fill. We had a pullback, a little bit more last week, but not too much, and then it went higher. We're expecting a target of around 464.50. We might get that Monday or Tuesday before we get a pullback. We still believe there will be at least a 50% gap fill, and if the market pulls back pretty hard, which we could get a 3 and as much as a 5% pullback in the market, we could pull back to the 433 level. So what we want to do now is look at IBM. IBM had a terrific week this week. We were looking for a little bit more of a pullback, which I think we'll get next week or the week after. With a pullback in the market. IBM represents about 11% of the Dow, so I think that this will pull back pretty hard to the 185 level. Microsoft hit a new 52-week high, surpassed 30. We believe that our next target there is 31, and a little bit higher probably to the 33.75 level in the next couple of months. With the market, we could see a pullback to the 29 to 28.50 level probably before the February, before it takes its next leg higher. Walmart. Walmart had a nice run this week. We believe that there will be a pullback to the $61 level before it goes higher. Maybe what we could do here is do a timed analysis of each of these pullbacks to see how long this pullback is, but it looks like we're right on target to hit that number at around 61, 61.25. So we're looking at Chevron, CVX. Had a nice bounce here. We're looking for it to hit the 107 level. If we get some weakness in the market, we could meander around the 102 to 104 level before we take that next step higher to 107. Google had a nice recovery. I got out of this trade a little bit too early, but we had a nice run right out of this demand support area here. Looks like we're going to edge back up towards that 612 area before we pull back. If the market pulls back pretty strong, the NASDAQ has hit an 11-year high. Google's a big part of that. We could see a pullback here to the 570, 575 level before we go higher. Looking at Procter & Gamble PG, there was a lot of weakness in it this week. I believe that there was a couple of downgrades. But with a big day that we had today in the market, being up 156 on the Dow and almost 20 on the S&P, with this negative price action, we still see some further downside here, perhaps to the 6150 level before it rebounds higher. So we're looking for some downward action there. And if we get a pullback in the market, it should accelerate. AT&T had a very good week this week. Coming up, we believe that the target here is 30.50. Being such a nice dividend play, even if we get a pullback in the market, this might pull back 50 to 75 cents, but we could see a rotation. If there is a pullback in the market, money going into good dividend plays like AT&T, Altera, Verizon, stocks like that. Looking at GE. GE really didn't do much this week. You can see it's starting to base and consolidate here. Very difficult to predict direction here. Although it pull back the market with its beta correlation, I believe it will pull back to the 1850 level before it tries to get higher and do a breakout here of, measure that out for you, looking for a breakout here of 1954. So we want to pull back first before we get higher. Coke. Coke almost hit our target here of around 68.25 to 68.50. We believe that Coke should go up a little bit more, but we're expecting more of a pullback to the $67 level before it goes higher. Donald's had some pretty good price action here. It hit the bottom of the channel. We've been calling this for a little while McDonald's is just on that terrific run. So it finally hit the bottom of that channel. It ran up a little bit. I think with a pullback in the market, we might just trade sideways and vacillate between maybe 98, 99 to 101 before we go to that top of the channel again around that 104, 105 area. Caterpillar had a very nice run over last week, got some upgrades, did a nice little breakout here on a nice above average volume, which is nice to see. What you want to do now is to see some follow through. Should be interesting to see if we get any follow through next week, maybe on Monday. But if we get a pullback in the market, expect people to take some profits and for it to pull back to the 110, 111 area. Home Depot starting to base. You can see here that it's almost finished its timed movement. We measured this out here to be 17 days. Looks like you have another day in this range here. We're looking for still a pullback to the 43.50 to 43.66 area before it goes higher. So we want to see kind of a reverse saucer pattern before it takes its next leg higher in a stair-step pattern. The trans had a very good move over the last month and stayed pretty strong. You can see by the middle of December, it's been on a straight line up. We had this measured move here at 55.43. We set that up about probably 2-3 weeks ago. So we're looking at that as our next target. But if there's going to be a pullback in the market, look for a pullback to this breakout area here, 5,200 to 5,250, before we come back up to target number 2, which will be this target area that we've identified. So those are our market leaders to look out for over the next week. We are expecting a pullback, as we mentioned, on the S&P 500. So we hope your trades are green. And if you're interested in trying us out for a month, email us and we'll send you a promo code to try us out for a month. I think that you'll find our track record speaks for itself, and our unsolicited testimonials speak volumes regarding the value that we provide to our subscribers. Thank you for attending another MajesticTrader.com's stock chart analysis. Visit our website to request one of our newsletters. Go to our website at www.majestictrader.com. In the upper right-hand corner, put in your email address and your name, and we'll send you out a copy. Once you become a member, you'll have access to complete trade performance, all stock analysis videos, archived newsletters, and midweek alerts that are trading ideas. We'll send those out to you via email. Again, thank you for attending.